Andy here, and I'm here to bring you all things mundane and makeup related. If that's your vibe, I'd love it if you would subscribe to be part of my little slice of the internet. And in today's video, I'm bringing you my September update to the Pile of Shame Project Pan. So if you want to see the progress I made on my Jeffree Star cremated palette, then let's go ahead and get into it. As you can see here, I do have a new camera, so if there's some adjusting to the lighting, to just how I'm filming in this next couple of videos that you see here, that is why. So if there's a little bit of some technical difficulties, I do apologize, and I will get that straightened out as soon as possible. But yeah, you can see Blaze Mirror now, and I don't have to adjust it. I have a wider lens. It's so exciting. But let's go ahead and get into this month's update. So this is what my Jeffree Star cremated palette now looks like. I know, this is not what the palette originally looked like. The original palette is a 24 pan palette. I depotted these 9 shades to create my very own. I hate that I can't seem to keep these shades straight because this palette is just a little on the big side, but these were the 9 shades that I enjoyed. This is a Jeffree Star magnetic palette. I went through, because I did use the palette one time, and I only liked a handful of shades to begin with. Anyway, I ended up using these 2 shades here, and I did enjoy those. I did not mind my look, but I just did not feel that I needed a 24 pan palette of grays, because there's one black in the palette and then it's just all grays, different tones of grays. So I went through and I swatched the palette, and these were the 9 shades that I enjoyed. I do have 2 extra shades in my singles. I have the Morgue and Mausoleum that I also pulled out that I liked, but for the 9 pan, I felt that this was what I wanted to have. I think that this is a really nice variety. I have the rest of the palette on my eyes today besides these 2 shades here, since I had already used those in a look. And I think it looks really nice. I think it turned out really pretty. I will say this white is kind of disappointing because it's not a white on the eyes like the white in the Weirdo palette. So I might pull that shade out and add one of the singles, the Morgue or the Mausoleum shade, because that shade is kind of disappointing. But all the other shades I do really enjoy. I think that they are worthy of being in this 9 pan. And I like this condensed version of the cremated palette so much more. And I think that having a condensed version is worthy of having in my collection. Spoiler alert, I will be keeping this. But I think if I would have kept this as the 24 pan palette, I would have decluttered it as a whole. DW from Dub's Beauty Diary was like, why don't you just depot the shades that you like? It was extremely easy to depot these. The hardest part of depotting these shades was scraping the glue off the bottom of the pans. And even that was not that difficult. The pans came out extremely easy. The only shade that I nicked was this one, and that was on me. That, like, the shades popped out so incredibly easy. It was actually pretty wild. So for Color Story, because I did not even tell you about this project, I just got right into talking about it. I'm using Sophie Alexander's Big Fat Eyeshadow Rules to narrow down my collection. I create 1 to 3 looks per palette, and I grade accordingly to the score chart below. If a palette rates a 12 or 20 or less, they're automatically decluttered. I did, like I said, 2 looks with this palette. 1 look with the palette as the big palette, and then I did 1 look with this size palette, and I feel like that is enough. So we have Color Story, Versatility, Quality, and Personal Ranking. So for color, and they all have a out of 5 like ranking. So for color story, I gave it a 3 because I'm kind of inspired. It's fine. It's a gray color story. I'm kind of inspired by it. It's not the most inspiring, but it's not bad. I like it. For versatility, I also gave it a 3. I think it's pretty versatile. It is different shades of gray. It definitely could be more different. It could be less different. So it's right in the middle. For quality, I gave it a 5. It is fantastic. I personally love Jeffree Star's quality. His mattes are blendable, they're buildable, they're workable, they're wonderful. The shimmers are fantastic. This shimmer is more on the textured side, but it's still one that I enjoy because I don't normally like textured shades, but I do really like it. It's what's on my outer corner today. I love his quality so much. And for personal ranking, I gave it a 4. I'm pretty comfy. I do like it. I think it's fine. There's some tweaks that I would make to this. One of the tweaks being I made it a 9 pan, which is what made it higher up is a 4. But, you know, it just being a monochromatic palette, it can't be a 5 for me because I'm no longer into monochromatic palettes, but this being this more gray toned color story, it is nice. I do like it. It ranked a 15 out of 20, so it is something that doesn't have to automatically be decluttered. And like I said, if I had kept this the 24 pan palette, I think I would have decluttered it. But because I made it this 9 pan, I'm going to keep it. Because I will be keeping this 9 pan with my palettes, but I can also use this with my singles now as well. Like I said, I think I might get rid of this white shade, but that's neither here nor there when it comes to this one. So now I will show you the palette that we will be rolling in. Spoiler alert, it's another Jeffree Star palette. So dun 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 dun, we have another 9 pan. It is the Jeffree Star Mini Breaker palette. This is super new to my collection. I just got this off of Mercari recently, so this is the color story here. I think this is really pretty. DW actually pretty much inspired me to get this palette because she loves it so much. And I'm super excited. I really love this Hot Fudge shade. We got some pinky purples. This orange crush shade is gorgeous. I could use Bubblegum or Foreplay as a blush. I'm very excited. So I might do 2 looks. I might just stick to one. We'll kind of see how I'm feeling, but this will be my September into October palette, which is exciting. So that is going to do it for my update for the Pile of Shame project. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.